Hi, this is Sushant from Parwarish, and today I wanted to talk to you about learning disabilities, learning difficulties like dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyslexia, and these are the terms given to children who are supposedly not being able to catch up with the level of math, science, reading, writing, as they're expected to be at their age and in the method in which they're being taught. Now, if you really observe children, specifically when they're around 2.5, 3 year old, they're very inquisitive. They'll ask a lot of questions. They would want to explore everything and anything they'll see. And suddenly, what happens in the next 3-4 years is the same child has difficulty learning. The key here is the way they are being taught. Now, let's look at a very quickly at how do we all learn. Some of us learn by reading and writing. Some of us learn visually. We need to see stuff before we learn them. Some of us learn by auditory means. We need to hear stuff. And some of us learn by doing. Now, that is the key to why children are facing these kind of difficulties these days. So let's take an example of a child who say, for example, is a kinesthetic learner. A child who learns by doing. And he's in, say, KG or first, where he's learning his alphabets. Because of his learning style, the difference in the learning style and the style in which he's being taught, his level of retention and recognition is less than his classmates. So at the end of the year, his classmates have moved on to recognizing all the letters and he's still struggling with them. He moves on to the next class where they're now joining the alphabets to make sentences, they're making words. He's still struggling with a few letters. This gap over a couple of years grows into a space where the classmates, his colleagues are forming sentences and writing sentences, and he has a struggle with his alphabets, his alphabets recognition and retention. And by the way, if you really see people around him, his parents, the children, the teachers would be talking to him about how he is not being able to pick up as fast as the children around him are picking up. And he started believing or not believing in himself that there is something happening which is not up to the mark where other children are. So this child, when he's assessed after about a few years, when he's about class 4 and 5, you really see a gap which has come in. Because of this gap, he's being told that yes, math is something which you can't do or you haven't been able to do for the last few years. The English is not at the same level or the science is not the same level. And there are different tags of dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyspersia, which are given to these children. Now, here at Parwarish, what we've done is we've really worked with these children who have come with these learning difficulties, identified what is the learning gap, identified their particular style of learning, and also worked on their damage in self-esteem, of self-belief, and then picked up from the place they got the gap and bridged the gap. And in our experience, in less than a year's time, the same child who supposedly, say, dyscalculia is able to do mathematics at the same level as his classmates. That's how a learning gap, which comes pretty early in life because of the difference in the learning styles and teaching styles, gets termed as a learning difficulty or a learning disability, and the child gets tagged. So the idea here is to work with the gap versus working with the child's tag and taking away from it. So as always, we love to hear from you, your comments, your views, your thoughts on this. So feel free to comment on this video or write to us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even emails. We'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you and happy parenting.